Alright, this is purely for if something gets stuck underneath there again.
We are recruiting a minion. We are recruiting a minion. We are recruiting a minion. We are recruiting.
Good morning. Hey, Maddie. Happy 3-day weekend? What's a weekend? You speak in riddles.
We are recruiting a minion. We are recruiting a minion.
Ah, the fan. I have died to that fan twice now. I keep forgetting I put that there. And I keep forgetting it has friendly fire. Alright, I feel like... Let's see. Let's just get rid of that one. Whoa, dude, it's still boosting me. It's terrifying. Alright, that's just to make it easier to drop down onto the gun emplacement. Alright, so now it should... Yeah, 3 out of 5 platoons. Now I can put more guys in here to help guard the king. Okay. Did all the stuff I was building finish? Yeah. Alright. Let's see if we can finish this. Start what might be the final wave. Good morning, Muck. Hey, Nev. Now, it's wave 15 on a new map. I'm expecting to see one new big enemy. On the first map, it was the Siege Roller. On the second map, it was the Lich thing. Okay, hold on, right there. That shadow. I don't know what that is. There's a big something right there. Dude, I love the dudes that are building the bridges. This map would be more challenging if the enemy troops actually followed those guys. battering ram on a bridge they built to get to my base. I love it. Oh my god, that destroyed a lot of my flamethrowers. Can I hit it from here? I don't think so. No, my fans! I'm maybe the dev intended for this kind of behavior on like every wave of this map, but then just the AI is not really working the way they hoped. Because like on the very first wave we saw this, and then now, but on the 14 or 13 waves in between that we didn't. Alright, what are these things? What's up, Cthulhu? What? One shot? Okay. It's like that Berserker clip that I posted the other day on YouTube Shorts. I think I might need the big gun shot. They stuck on trees? Yeah, I think a couple of them got stuck on the trees. I think that's it. All hail the king. Complete all kingdoms. Hey! Again, I feel like we went from hardest to easiest. Like, in terms of, like, the mission order.
Pathing, how does it work?
The portals have collapsed and the kingdoms are safe once more. Debimius is so proud of you, I mean himself. After all, he's the one who single-handedly saved the kingdom. Just ask the bards he's paying to sing his praises. But we both know the truth, don't we? We did it because it was the right thing to do. So where does your path lead now? Will you continue to help our lands thrive, or do new challenges call for your attention? Building time 5.5 hours. Defense time 2 hours and 21 minutes. Total play time about 8 hours.
Thanks to the heroics of King Debimius and, oh, some help from you, we've defeated the enemy hordes and closed the portal.
There we go. There we go. That's an odd ending for Minecraft. Alright. Just because I want to see what my guy's gonna look like if I do this. Maxing out my armor upgrades. I get a cape, like a flaming cape, and like a Skyrim hat. I was kind of expecting like full plate mail or something, but it's like a more of a Viking thing. Your castle's sick now? Good job, sir. Yeah. It's kind of weird, but it worked. That's it. Alright, so let's go back to the world map. So, I was wondering for a while if this was going to become, like, the finale, but it didn't. Alright. Review time! Let's talk about it. So, Castlecraft. Also, I never saw those balloons. I don't know when those come in. I never saw those. Castlecraft. I got a free key for this in my mail. A lot of companies just send me free game keys, and they just hope that I'll play their game. They don't offer, like, you know, sponsorship or anything. But this was one such where I saw it and I was like, you know what, that actually looks fun. I'll give it a shot. And It does have a demo on Steam as well that you can play, but the game itself is just like a few bucks. It's pretty cheap. It is pretty neat. The first map, I think, was the hardest one. You were on like a big grassy plain, so the enemy could walk straight to you. There was none of that. The enemy would path off the cliff and stuff like that. Like that wasn't a thing. So you had to deal, like every single enemy had to be dealt with. They were not just like falling into the void. So it was far more challenging than that map that we just did there at the end. Let me show real quick. So this was it, and the portal's over there. This is what we ended up building. And we had to dig a trench here. We had a few traps out in the field, but this is what worked for us for this one. On this map, the first map, I really didn't have any bugs or any problems or anything. There was even digging units that would go underground and come up inside the base that caused like a different challenge when they would do that. One thing, the water physics, we found a thing called a wellspring, and you build it in water and it makes more water. So it seems to be more like an extension cord, but for water. And the wellspring, I was trying to fill like this as a moat, and at the rate it was going to take like many hours. Like the water physics seem to be really poor right now. Let me see if I can show it. All right, so like look at that. Like, it looks really weird. The water physics are not great. The surface of the water looks really nice. The water physics are not great. But the upgrades are good. The enemies were fine on this map. Then we went to the second map, and that's when we learned of a new thing in this game, which I've only ever seen in the game Mindustry. So you see here it says passive income. So my base here is giving me that income when I'm playing over here. So at the end of each wave, I get whatever those income numbers are from your other bases. So on the desert map, there's no lumber at all. So you get all your income from the grass map. And that made me discover I could go back to the grass map and just kind of farm and then come back here. But it kind of has like a trade route feel to it. But you cannot simply, you cannot get everything on just one map. So there's no trees here. So again, we did a trench, that worked good for us. And we did all this stuff, and it was nice. The main issues with the desert map is we started getting lag. And it led to me turning all of the settings down to like the lowest graphics setting. And it helped a little bit, but it was just like every couple of seconds, it was like it would lose frames for some reason. It was really choppy. I don't know what all that was about, but it was a thing. Hopefully they can get that fixed. Other than that, I think this one was fine. And then, of course, we have the last map that we played, the ice map, which at that point you've got 2 kingdoms giving you income, which was quite helpful. The ice map started us in this weird little corner. And while I was there, so it started the king here. And I was facing this as my build area. And I'm like, this is really weird. And I made a bridge over here because there was iron and trees. And I'm like, if I can just build my base here, that'd be a lot easier. And I found that there was a thing to move the king, but it costs, like, for moving him from there to there, it costs 6,000 ore, metal, and gold. So I had to go back to a previous map to farm up 6,000 gold, and then I finally got enough, came over here, moved the king, and it didn't take away the money. I don't know if that was a bug, or if it was just like you have to have this much stockpiled, but it was very odd. Let me see if I can show you. All right, right here. So see, like if I want to move it there, you see what it says? But like here, it says it's fine. Right? It did not take away the money when I did that last time, so I don't know what that was about. Aside from that, you know, there was the pathing issues on this map. Many enemies spawned from the portal, and they just ran off and fell off the cliff. And it was really stupid. On the first and the final mission, sorry, the first wave, wave 1 and wave 15, there was an enemy that made a bridge out of magic, and then they all came running along the bridge, and that was really cool because I wasn't expecting that. I liked that, but on the 13 waves in between 1 and 15, everything just ran off the cliff, and it was pretty stupid, which it led to this being the easiest map, despite it being the finale, which is unfortunate, because like on all the others, I was never spawning the waves early because I needed all the build time I could possibly get to prepare. And on this map, we just rushed out like 10 waves without doing a whole lot of building, because it was just like, okay, well, I can make this stuff really fast because I've got the income from 2 other maps, and I don't really have more room to build, and they're just running off the cliff most of the time. So that was unfortunate. I don't think the final mission should be easier than the first one. Another thing was the traps. So you start with ballistas. Well, you don't start with them, but they're the first ranged attacking thing you get. Then cannons, Dwarven Wrath cannons, and rocket artillery were all incredibly stupid. They were all happy to turn and blow up your own base. And we kind of fixed this one by putting blinders on it, but it was really weird because, like, again, it's like, okay, this guy can't aim 90 degrees to the left now, right? But if he's focused on a skeleton, and that skeleton is like over here and humping the wall, he won't shoot the 30 other things over here. So the AI needs to realize, like, if I am aiming at one enemy and I can't reach it, switch to a target that I can reach. Because so often they would just, like, be facing an enemy that was behind a wall, and there was other stuff they could have shot that they don't. So the AI for the weapons could be better, and right now it's bad enough that I'm hardly ever using the 3 ranged weapons that can destroy blocks, because they destroy my own base. The ballistas and the flamethrowers do not destroy blocks, so I don't have to worry about those. Also the AI for the troops you can summon, such as the knights and the archers and stuff like that. There has been times where I had like an enemy right here, and the knights that were over here 5 feet away did not attack it. They just completely ignored it, and then the king died. There was also that one wave where an enemy attacker landed on top of the king, killing him, and I could not reach him because you can't jump in melee. You can melee or you can jump, but you can't jump in melee, so I couldn't reach the guy, and he killed the king, and the king wasn't even reacting either. So that one was kind of stupid. So definitely some AI improvements need to be made to basically everything in this game with an AI. It's not bad, but it could be better. And then the pathing on this specific map. On the other maps, the pathing was fine, honestly. Like when you dig a trench, if it's not big enough, they'll just go around it, you know? They were intelligent enough on that map, but on this map, they're just really, really stupid. This was fun. I mean, I wouldn't have continued playing it past the first session if I wasn't having fun, but I enjoyed it. It kind of makes me want more of it. But at the same time, I'd like them to like fix the bugs and stuff like that. I have mixed thoughts. Like, as someone who's played so many RTSs before, you know, I'm very used to like, oh, like I'm making, you know, I'm on the 3rd mission of StarCraft. I have to build up the whole tech tree again. You know, it's normal in many games that when you get to a new map, you got to tech up again. But on this map, you kept your tech, which made the 2nd and the 3rd map much easier than the 1st map in that regard as well, because you started with 14 builders instead of 1. You started already having defenses, plus you started with the previous map's income. So you were much stronger on the 2nd and the 3rd map, but the challenge didn't rise with it. The desert map was moderately challenging because of the stuff trying to like dig under and come up under your base, but that wasn't a thing on this one. That just never happened here. I think that's it. It was definitely a fun game. It looks really nice, you know? Obviously, it's got the blocky Minecraft look, but I think they did a good job of, like, making a lot of their own unique stuff. It doesn't just look like a clone. And the, you know, defense aspect kept me very entertained. Also, it's kind of cool. Like at the beginning, you chop your own you chop trees yourself, then you automate it. So, yeah, there was like a little bit of like automation. Feels good there as well. But yeah, all right, that was Castlecraft. Fun game. Done with it now. Would be happy to play this again in the future if they ever add any more to it. But now I'm feeling pretty satiated. I even got all the Seam achievements. Was beat every map. All right, on to the next one.